Hello, beautiful homemakers. We're continuing reading Secrets of Fascinating Womanhood, Chapter 4, Secret Number 1. Accept Him. During the following week, Angela's thoughts about fascinating womanhood seesawed between serious doubts and hope and excitement. Her mother was highly encouraging when Angela told her about the Fascinating Womanhood course. She promised to come around and look after David and Tiffany every Wednesday evening while Angela attended. On the Wednesday evening of her first lesson, Angela arrived early. The course was held in the same room in which they had met last week. Harmony, the FW teacher, looked even more striking than last week as she welcomed Angela warmly at the door. She wore a shiny turquoise blue ankle-length dress that contrasted vividly with her silver hair, swirled elegantly on top of her head, and held in place with a large turquoise butterfly hair clip. But Angela was impressed most of all by her peaceful serenity. Elsie, the elderly woman who had come in with Angela last week, had also enrolled for the course and was sitting in the room. Angela again sat in the front row. She felt rather excited and at the same time relaxed. Her mother was not only looking after the children, but also catching up on the housework for her. She hummed softly to herself as she waited for the lesson to begin. Angela counted 11 other women present when the teacher stood before them to begin the lesson. Harmony smiled her radiant smile and welcomed them all again warmly. Then she said, "Let's all know each other by our first names. My name is Harmony. As I read your names, please raise your hand. Angela, Beth, Beverly, Cherry, Diane, Elsie, Helena, Kathy, Marina. Is Marina here? No? Sonia? All here except Marina. Oh, here she is now, I think." A plump, dark-haired, brown-skinned woman of about 50 entered and sat down. "Sorry I'm late, teacher," she said in a soft, gentle voice. "Well, that's all of us here," said the teacher, looking pleased. "It's so very important that you receive all 10 lessons if FW is to bring you the happiness it promises. Now, if you want to ask a question at any time during a lesson, just raise your hand and please, no criticizing of men in class. I must be firm on that." She smiled. "Right, now let's briefly introduce ourselves. Joanne and Beryl are also with us, just for tonight, from a previous class. We will hear from them later on. Angela, can you stand and introduce yourself first, then just follow on in turn?" Angela had not been expecting this. However, she stood and faced the class and said, "Well, as you know, my name is Angela. I have 2 children, a boy aged 12 and a girl aged 9 who live with me. I'm a primary school teacher, and I'm separated from my husband, whose name is Ted. He runs a car repair garage." Next to stand up was Beth, a slightly built woman in her late 20s. She wore a dark business suit, had straight black hair, and wore oval, black-rimmed glasses. She spoke in a businesslike, matter-of-fact style. "I am Beth. I am in my final year of a law degree. I am married and expecting my first child in March next year. I perhaps should be frank with you all and let you know that it is not my idea that I take this course. My mother, who is rather old-fashioned, has insisted I do so. So, to keep her happy, I have agreed. My husband is an accountant." Then a large woman in her mid-40s stood, her florid face even more red than normal with embarrassment. She had frown lines between her eyes and a wide mouth. She had unstyled, frizzy, dyed, gingery orange hair, and wore a floral top and blue jeans. She spoke in a loud, rather gravelly tone. "Hi, I'm Fat Bev. No good trying to deny it. Y'all have eyes. I love to eat. Yes, I'm married, too, although he's not much chop, and we won't be much longer if he don't shape up. I've already spoken to a lawyer. but we've been told not to criticize our other halves, so I'll have to keep my trap shut, though that's hard for me." Angela couldn't help smiling at Bev's introduction. The teacher and other class members smiled also. Angela felt a liking for Bev. Next was Cherry, a young woman in her late 20s. She had large blue eyes and wavy, natural blonde hair. Angela thought she looked a picture of health, with her clear, glowing complexion and shapely but robust figure, which was accentuated by snug-fitting cream slacks and a colorful top. She tossed her head and gave a large smile. Her voice was confident and cheerful. Angela liked her immediately. "Hello, everybody. My name is Cherry, and I can't wait to hear these secrets. I'm married to a self-employed contractor, and we have a girl aged 7. The next woman to introduce herself was Diane, a thin, mousy-looking woman, aged about 50, with slightly rounded shoulders and wearing a dark jumper and trousers. Her stressed-looking face was lined with wrinkles, especially around her eyes and mouth. Her short, permed hair was dyed a dark shade of red. Angela couldn't help thinking how much she contrasted with the outgoing Cherry. Her timid voice was thin and expressionless. "My name is Diane. I have 3 grown-up children to my first husband, but we divorced. But I've married again. I enjoy handcrafts. As well as taking this course, I'm also taking a night course in flower arranging." Next was the elderly Elsie. She was short in stature and had white hair and a kindly face. Angela was surprised that Elsie sounded nervous when she introduced herself. She had sounded confident when speaking with her last week. "Hello, I'm Elsie, and I'll be 76 next birthday. I suppose you're all wondering what an old grandmum like me is doing in a course like this. Well, there's an old saying, 'You're never too old to learn.' My husband's almost 80, and we have 9 grown children. They're all married or living with partners, which we don't approve. But we've had 3 divorces among our children, and I don't want any more. Such terrible heartache and suffering. So that's why I'm here. My husband and I are happily married. We have 18 grandchildren so far and 6 great-grandchildren." Next to stand was Helena, a plump, vivacious woman aged about 40. She wore a long mid-green dress and had several rings on her fingers. Angela judged from her dark hair and olive skin that she was probably of Mediterranean descent. Helena spoke with a strong, personable voice and an air of confidence. "Hello, it's nice to be here with you all. My name is Helena. Both my husband Spiros and I have Greek parents, so family is very important to us. I love my parents, and they live with us. We have 4 children, 2 boys and 2 girls, all in their teens, and we want them to marry properly and be happy. And yes, Elsie, I agree with you. None of this modern living together nonsense. My husband Spiros runs a restaurant, and I and the children and my mum and dad help out. Spiros and I have a good marriage." She smiled and looked around at the class and then said, "But it could be better. I am looking forward to learning a few secrets to enhance our relationship." Then Kathy stood to introduce herself. She was a slim, lively, chatty woman in her early 40s with short brunette hair and dressed in what looked like elegant designer clothes. She had clear skin, expressive eyes, and a radiant, toothy smile. She reminded Angela of Amy. Kathy seemed to lack a little confidence at first, but soon relaxed. She spoke quite rapidly. "Hello, I'm Kathy, and I have 3 teenagers at home, and I'm a married daughter. I'm a full-time homemaker because I believe that's where a mother should be with her children, at home. My husband works 2 jobs, keeps him out of my hair. Oops, naughty, not allowed to criticize." She smacked her own hand and grinned around at the class and continued. "Our marriage isn't too bad. My husband is so patient. He needs to be with me. I am so impatient, and I like to be the boss." Kathy continued to chat on about her family until the teacher gently reminded her that her time was limited. Then Marina, the plump, brown-skinned woman of about 50, began to speak. Her voice was soft and gracious. She had large, gentle black eyes, natural graying hair, and wore a long black dress embroidered with native designs. "Hello, darlings. I'm Marina. My family have lived around here for many generations. I have 6 grown-up children. 3 of them are married and have their own families. I have 7 grandchildren. My husband is not very well. He can't go out to work any more, but he's a good gardener and a good man. But dear me, he does have a bad temper sometimes, but it's usually my fault. Oh, darlings, I shouldn't have said that, should I? Sorry, teacher. I love to go to church, and I teach a Sunday school class of little children every week, and I love them. I call them my little lambs. The last woman to stand was Sonia, an obviously shy girl, aged in her mid-20s with long, mousy brown hair. She wore faded blue jeans and a plain white cardigan. She stood and was silent for a few moments, gathering confidence to speak. When she spoke, her voice was timid and barely audible. My name is Sonia, and my little girl's name is Cherie. She goes to kindy now and is 3 years old. My partner Andrew is an orchard worker. He doesn't earn much money, but I manage. Thank you, class, said the teacher, smiling and looking excited. Right, let's get started. Have you ever been puzzled sometimes as to what a man sees in a certain woman? A woman that to your eyes seems to have no appeal at all? Yet the man seems totally captivated by her. It's a mystery, is it not? However, it would no longer be a mystery if you could look through a man's eyes. You would find that his view of her is very different from your own. Men do not see and think as women do. Their needs are totally different from ours. The things we women admire in each other are not the qualities that are attractive to men. In fact, it's often the qualities we women condemn in each other that are the most fascinating and appealing to men. Now, let's start solving this great mystery. First, what kind of woman impresses other women? Yes, Beth? The slightly built, dark-haired student lawyer had raised her hand. I believe we women admire a woman who is poised and fashionably dressed, one who appears to be intelligent and talented, and holds an important position. Good answer, Beth. Yes, I'm sure that's true of most women. Now let's look at the kind of woman that impresses a man. Let's look through a man's eyes. Men are impressed with sympathy, cheerfulness, childlike innocence, and charm in a woman. The more tender, feminine, pure, and trusting she appears to be, the more attractive she becomes to them. Vivaciousness also enhances these qualities. Now let's remember we are talking about love here. A man can easily be attracted at a sexual level to a promiscuous woman who has none of these qualities. But he could never love her. It is important that we understand this difference. Sexuality in a woman can stimulate lust, but it does not arouse love in a man. Love is awakened by wholesome, feminine qualities, such as sympathy, purity, cheerfulness, trust, and dependence. Living fascinating womanhood brings out these natural feminine qualities in us, qualities that stir and soften a man's heart. We arouse in him a desire to cherish us, to hold us and adore us. We become fascinating and delightful to him. And not only to our husbands, but almost all men, including our sons. I get on so well with my 4 sons now since I've been living FW. It's really thrilling. They are all married, but they visit me often and they really spoil me. Now the face you were born with doesn't matter all that much. Your husband has already accepted that. Besides, when you make him feel wonderful, you will look beautiful to him no matter how you look. and you'll learn how to make him feel wonderful. When you live all 10 secrets of FW, the results will be unbelievable. Angela couldn't help smiling at the teacher's childlike enthusiasm. It can't be that good, she thought. Still, the teacher's excitement was contagious, and Angela felt excited also and was eager to learn more. Harmony was certainly an inspiring teacher. Now, are we all ready for the first secret? This first secret needs to be lived before you will see real results from living secrets 2, 3, and 4. This first secret is so important, it will probably be the most challenging of the whole 10. We'll stop there and I'll start a new video. Bye!